All right, I'm Mike Caton with Ace Method Coaching, and I'm here for another episode, 28th one, I believe, where I'm doing live hurdle review, technique review from videos that were sent in to me, and also answering any questions. I didn't get any questions sent to me in advance this week, but if during this live stream you have a question for me, go ahead and leave it in the chat and I'll answer it as soon as I'm done with these videos. Today I have 5 videos. I believe they're all high school athletes, and I say that because I don't look at these in advance. I say this all the time, but basically I have an online business where I help coach hurdlers and coaches, but I do get a lot of free requests to look at videos, which I enjoy doing. But the only way to do it that makes sense for me is to lump them all together and do them all at once. Otherwise, it'd be a whole lot of recording and sending, and it's too time consuming. So this works for me, plus it helps my channel, and it also helps other people who want to learn and enjoy watching and learning from this process. So that's what I do. Because Ace Method Coaching, in case you didn't know, stands for Analyze, Correct, and Empower. So I just love analyzing technique, telling people how they can improve, and then empower them to be faster. Okay? So I am going to jump right into these 5 really quick. Give me a second. Okay, I am starting with, I don't really know this person's name because sometimes people send me online names. It says ZM. I think his name is Maximo, but I'm not sure. What I do know is he is in lane 4. I have 2 videos on him, and he's in a black uniform. Okay, so these look like young athletes. I'm going to assume middle school. All right. So, and you're not a big guy. All right. Let me slow it down and see what I can see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right leg. 1, 2, 3, 4. Left leg. Okay, so you are 4-stepping, which, good job. Because if you watch any of my videos, I do not like 5-stepping. I do not see anything good in 5-stepping. And it just trains you to have bad habits. So this is your first hurdle. Let me zoom in because this is a pretty good quality video. Thank you. So leading with the left leg. So I'm assuming that this is your favorite leg, but you're really close to that hurdle, and it's forcing you to take a steep angle up at that hurdle to not hit it. And so you end up too high over the hurdle. But if you look at all your competitors, they're even higher than you. But still, no point, especially when you're not a tall person, no point in giving up another 9 inches over the hurdle. You want to be as low over the hurdle as possible. And I can tell you, you need to back up a little bit, certainly on that first hurdle. Your lead leg, I'm looking at your lead leg now, the left leg, it moves really pretty well. Seems like it's swinging up without ever being really tucked underneath. So try to tuck your heel up against your butt there. Don't extend your leg till the very end. Your arms are both straightened out. Try to keep them bent at 90 degrees. But again, you look so much better than your middle school competitors. Okay. So because you are high, you're going to have an odd landing like this, where you're kind of falling backwards. That's not uncommon for a person who went too high. So you bring down your trail leg, but look how you're twisted like this, that's because you were too high. And as you were coming down, your body had too much time to keep rotating and ended up over-rotated. And that's why you're twisted the way you are. If you were to stay lower, that'll go away. Okay. Okay, so let's look at your right leg now. I can see that you're swinging that right leg out from the outside. Try to bring them both in through straight. Oh, then there's this weird thing. Let me see if you did that with the other leg. I'm noticing some really bad trail leg action. Actually, this trail leg action was pretty good. But when you go to your non-dominant leg, you are pulling in your trail leg tucked underneath you. You need to have it out, kind of like a dog when it's taking a pee. That's what you need to have it do. And that'll allow you to get lower over that hurdle. Now you got to go high so that you have room for your foot to squeeze underneath there. And you wouldn't have that problem if you had your leg turned the other way in your trail leg. Again, your arms are straight out. Okay, so here's the deal. If you are going to four-step, then you might as well make them four good steps. And here's what I mean by that. Let me zoom in again. Excuse me, I didn't bring any water with me and I'm regretting that. Okay, so reaching out with your leg like that to land on your heels, not necessary, and it's slower. Again, reaching out in front of you, landing on your heels is stretching out, and you don't need it. You don't need this long stretched out step either, because now you're too close to the hurdles. So if you're going to do four steps, get those steps tighter, a few inches shorter, so you can land on the balls of your feet underneath you. That would be what I would recommend. Okay, and then keep those arms tighter. Go at that hurdle versus over that hurdle to stay lower, and you'll do a whole lot better. I am curious to see what this other video is, though. I bet it. Yeah, more of the same. But you're doing great. Obviously, you're way ahead of your peers. So great job on that. I'm just going to double check my sound. Everything's looking good. All right. Okay. I think Maximo. Good job on that. And I'm now moving on to Joshua. I have 3 videos on Joshua from Indiana. I don't know where. Sophomore is a PR of 1627. He is steadily improving. He feels like a pretty good coach, but he would like a second opinion. So let's do this. Let's glance at your videos. Oh, you slowed them down. So people that are sending me videos, don't send me slow motion videos, because I like to see them full speed first, and I can always slow them down. Okay, I see definitely something. Wait, so hold up. I can't tell. Hopefully here I'll figure out who you are. Oh my gosh, you're from Mishawaka. I live in South Bend. Let me know if you want to do a live session. I haven't done one in a while. That'd be kind of fun. The problem is I can't tell who you are. Because, okay, you have short dark hair. So I'm thinking this is you. But isn't necessarily you, because this is a live. Let me go to the other one. You know what? I'm going to bounce out for a second and see if you told me and I didn't pay attention to that. Joshua. Okay, you did tell me, and I'm sorry I didn't write that down. In the first video, mostly focusing on my start. In the second video is a regular dual meet, lane 6. In the third video, sectional race in the past Thursday, lane 7 in the white jersey. Okay. Why didn't I write that down? Okay, so. Oh, you know what? I wrote it in my notes. Dang it, right here. Okay. I'm so dumb. Actually, I'm more organized than I thought that I was, because I organized this a few days ago. And this one, you were in lane 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here you are, looking at your start. Okay, pretty good start. Then the camera, we go to the other guy. Okay, so really good for a sophomore. So here you are, right here. So here's what we're gonna see some good stuff here. Let me zoom. Okay, hold it. Weird. Okay, so your lead leg is actually swinging through pretty good from this angle, but I don't think it's tucked up into your butt enough. So that's going to end up giving you some vertical lift here that you don't want. I'll know it when I see it from the other side. So obviously a little too high over that hurdle. A trail leg moves through really well, except, look at this, look at this, look at this. Okay, right here is where you should start driving it down, actually more like right here. Start driving it down, but you haven't touched down yet, so you can't start driving. You haven't touched down yet because you were too high. So it's forcing you to swing your trail leg around too much clockwise before you end up pulling it down. And this, if I can see your leg, lower leg angled in like this, I could see that's a bit of an over rotation. But not bad, not bad. Okay, let me go to this one, which I know you were in lane 6. So, So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is you right here in a different color uniform. Okay. Yes, you're not, I don't think you're keeping your heel tucked to your butt long enough. Arms look pretty good. You could keep this arm tighter. I'm looking now at your lead arm as it sweeps by your knee. Very nice, or at least nicer than most. Okay, here's a problem. See how your toe is touched down, but you're still leaning way back? And then right here where your heel is flat, but you're still leaning back? That shouldn't be happening. And then see how you are twisted, your upper body is twisted pretty far counterclockwise to where your left shoulder is back behind you, and so the opposite has to be happening on your lower body, where your lower body is rotating clockwise, and so your lead leg is rotated too far, like I said. Okay, so you're twisted like a washing machine. That's how it goes. And most of that is because you're too high over the hurdle. Okay, so hopefully on here, I can see why. Well, one, I think you're too close to the hurdle. This, I don't know how far this is, but it just strikes me as being too close. And when you are too close, it forces you to take an angle above the hurdle. It's just going to make you too high. The other thing is, you want to reach the apex or the peak of your jump in front of the hurdle and then come down on the hurdle. You're reaching it about right here. And yeah, you're in front of the hurdle, but not by very far. So, number one, move back. Number two, drive into the hurdle, not over the hurdle. And I think that's going to fix a whole lot because this is actually pretty good. And then the other is as you start to descend the hurdle and come off, you want to pull your hips forward. That'll drop your trail leg down fast and you're up tall. I'm going to be putting out a video, I hope next week, of Alex Chuculeo, who just broke the record for high school. He's running 12:9. If you can believe that somebody could run the 110 hurdles in under 13 seconds, this guy does. And you will see what perfect form looks like. And it looks very much like the Olympics video that I have on my website, on my YouTube channel. When those guys come off the hurdle, in fact, when Alex comes off the hurdle and his heel is down, his hip is already in front of his foot. Yours is behind. So he's already running to the next hurdle. So you need to get up tall and running as soon as possible. And that happens by moving your hips forward as you come off, dropping that trail leg fast. Okay? Okay, cool. Then let me check out your practice video. I think there's going to be some good stuff to see here. See how you're landing on your heels? That's a problem. So that's good. See, okay. You're looking at your start. I know I'm spending a lot of time on you, is because we're neighbors. And I might want to get together because I might need some video. So, all right. Okay. So there's a thing called negative shin angle. Right here, you see how you have your knee here, then your foot is behind your knee? That's what we want. Negative shin angle for at least 4 steps. Already by your second step, you are getting no negative shin angle, right? It's like neutral. That means that you are not driving out of the blocks properly. And then you're starting to strike the ground on your heels. Well, sort of flat-footed. And then here, that's kind of heel flat. And then your last step before the hurdle, look at that. That is landing on your heels. So think about this. Your first 7 steps were either good or okay, and then your last one, you stuck your leg out in front of you and landed on your heels. Now, you may not realize it, but what that is saying is that you are slowing down here. Okay, so subconsciously, you are trying to get under control so that you can jump high over that hurdle and not wipe out. You got to get over that fear. You've got to learn to strike the ground underneath you with a reduced step, which will put you, it's almost like you're running and all of a sudden you take a small step where you want to fall forward, but now you're going to fall forward so you stay lower over that hurdle. That's the whole point of this, versus this planting, jarring motion that you're doing here. And then let's look at your lead leg. See the gap here? Your heel should be up into your butt here, and then it should still be there until about right here that it starts to come and then extends to the hurdle, straight at the hurdle. But we can see a bit of a rise over the hurdle. Don't get me wrong, you're good. Especially for a high school sophomore, this is really pretty good. But you want to get real good, you can do it. You need to be lower. You need to come at that hurdle. Drive this knee into the top of that hurdle. Now let me look at those arms. I think you got that arm too hooked around you like that. It's going to set you up for some rotational forces, which I already know from looking at the other one, that you do twist too much as you come off the hurdle. Okay, see how your shoulders are turned towards the camera? You don't want that. You want your shoulders to stay forward all the time. Okay, here, not bad. Looks better than the other video. Okay, this here, this is not bad. See, your foot is flat. I should draw a line and see your butt right here, but yours is behind. Okay, like I told you, the video that I'm going to put out next week, Alex has his butt out here. He's sprinting off of this hurdle versus landing out in front of him. And he's also landing out back here versus up here. Okay? And then look at that heel. Okay? Cool. So same thing. So the biggest issue is you are sprinting on your heels. And then, like I already told you, you need to get that last foot planted, stay low over that hurdle, because you were like 80% there. Okay? So I'm going to send some information to you because I want to hook up with you. Okay. Let's see here. Moving on to Gary. Okay, so Gary is somebody, this might be a problem because I didn't do my homework here. Gary is somebody who I reviewed before, and I don't normally do people again during these free things because I'm too busy. Okay, see, the problem is, Gary, I know you think that I know who you are because I've reviewed you before, but I review a lot of videos. So I don't know which one of these guys is you. Anyway, I stopped myself short. Gary said that the video he sent me was after an injury, that he was going to send one before. And I was kind of intrigued by that. So I thought, okay, I'll do that. So, okay, I'll just really quick do both of these guys. So, see how his heel is tucked up? That's good. So, Joshua, notice that his heel is here. Okay, and it's still tucked, even though his knee is out here. That's the way it should be. One thing you're not doing, Gary, look at how bent this leg is. You should be fully extended, pushing really hard, going into the hurdle at this point, and you're not. So this is telling me you didn't push off hard enough, and then also you're going to pull your trail leg through too soon. And yeah, sure enough, this doesn't even look right. Your trail leg is too far forward at this point. And then look how it just drops, assuming this is you. Okay? So you got to work on driving off this leg for a fraction of a second longer, get a full extension over the hurdle, and then pull your trail leg through. Okay, so now if this is Gary, same thing. I like the lead leg. So again, Joshua, notice that. I like this. Look, if this is Gary, looking good. Arms are too open though. I also think you didn't extend hard enough off this leg and your trail leg is forward, but you're lower over the hurdle. You're probably just not as fast as this person, whoever you are. That's my main issue. On this one, long-haired, if that's Gary, this woman's head's in the way, but I think he hit the hurdle. Both good hurdlers. Okay. Okay. Moving on to Braden. Braden sent 3 videos. Let's glance at them real quick. Braden reached out to me through Instagram, I believe. I believe he's this very aggressive guy right here. Holy smokes, you are aggressive. Okay, let me check out, because you sent 3. I can't look at all 3, but I want to see which one is best. Okay, this is really good video. Okay, so I might look at that one, but let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna look at this one. I gotta rotate it again though. Okay, Braden. By the way, I do paid versions of this that are longer, more involved. And if you send me 3 videos, I'm going to spend time on them. But I just don't have time with these free ones. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. In case you're thinking, God, that wouldn't be worth $29. Okay, so let's see what we got going on here. Good step, good step. So Joshua, if you're still watching, notice his first step is negative shin angle, second step, third step, fourth step a little bit, and then now he's getting it underneath him. Okay, so 3.75 really good driving steps out of the blocks is what we want. Let's see if he does. Okay, also notice he does have his leg out in front of him, which is not ideal, but at least it's not out on his heels. So that means it's in a little bit. And he's not spread out. Okay. Lead leg is tucked. Could still be tucked a little bit more. Okay. Notice Gary. Look how hard he's extending off of this leg, how it's straight. That's full commitment. Okay, a little bit high on that hurdle, but that's not uncommon for a first hurdle. Arms look, no, I can tell that your right arm, the one that's away from the camera, isn't in the right spot. The fact that I can see it means it's out to the side, and it should be behind you, and I shouldn't be able to see it at this point. If anything, I should see your elbow kind of come out from behind your back here, but you didn't swing it back properly. Your lead arm looks really good. Your lean looks really good. I like this position. It just strikes me a little bit that it could be a little, that your center of mass jumps up a little bit. And if I look at your shorts, they should just kind of go flat over the hurdle. Okay, here we're looking at you coming down off the hurdle. So your trail leg is coming through nicely. And okay, so the trail leg's in a good spot. The arms look good. The fact that you're flat-footed and your hip is a bit back behind you, again, as you come off the hurdle, try to push your hips forward. It'll drop that lead leg down, and you come up standing a little bit taller. This is really good, though. This is probably in the top 20 percentile of high schoolers, how they look coming off of a hurdle. Probably better than that. Probably even better than, I don't know, 15%, 10%. This looks really good. Oh, I like this step, the way you're dropping. Okay, so for people, let's see here. Joshua, again, picking on Joshua. Joshua, I was talking about your trail leg swinging, over rotating. If you go back, I have so many videos that I've reviewed and I talk about the trail leg, but basically you want to start driving it down before it makes it all the way to pointing forward. But yours, you couldn't do that because you were too high. Braden is able to do that. Like I can tell he hasn't rotated all the way around, but he's already starting to drive his trail leg down before it even gets there. And this here is really pretty. Bam! So you drop this down and your opposite knee, your right knee, is already even with your left knee. So if you guys understand sprint technique, this is exactly what you want. Pretty good. Pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good step. Okay, so Braden, here's what I recommend, that you try to get your last step slightly shorter, what we call a cut step. Step about right here versus right here, to stay low over that hurdle. So you might need to, if necessary, extend this step slightly by an inch or so. This one maybe about the same, and this should do it. I hope so. Anyway, again, just a little too high over the hurdle. But you are really, really good. I don't know anything about you, but you're really good. I bet you are pulling down some pretty fast times because your technique is good. Your running between the hurdles is good. And I watched that video and you're super aggressive. Yeah. Hey, Braden, send me your times. I want to know something about you. Okay. Moving on to the last one of the day before I go check to see if I have any questions there. By the way, anybody who's watching this and you're wondering how can you get it on this action, go to my website, acemethodcoaching.com, and you'll see how you can send me your video, and I'll just put you into my live stream. Let's see here, unless you want a private one, which I charge for. But let me know if you want to do that. Douglas. Okay, so Douglas, real quick, I don't think I know I already sent Douglas. Oh, I'm in lane 7 out of 8 with the white uniform. Why didn't I write that in my notes? I'm not doing very good today. Okay. Actually, I know why. Okay, so here's Douglas. Unfortunately, in last place. So let's watch you come off this hurdle. Let me slow it down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So that means that this left leg theoretically is your dominant leg, because you do that on your first and your 9th hurdle. Okay, let me see what I can figure out. I actually, long story, I'm not going to go into it. I'm just going to talk about technique right now. Okay. I'm going to do this one because this is your favorite leg. Okay, see how overall when I look at your body, it's a definite rise over the hurdle. And I should see it just go flat at the hurdle. See that? So you're jumping. You're not hurdling, you're jumping, okay? And then so the problem with jumping is it slows you down. It loses your your horizontal momentum, turns it into vertical momentum. Then you have to wait for yourself to land because gravity, and then gravity pulls you hard into the track, and then you feel really heavy right here, like you're in a hole. Then you got to start climbing out of that hole. It takes you a step or two, and then you repeat that process over and over. Okay? Overall, Douglas, you're not a bad hurdler. I'm sorry that you're losing so bad. I bet this is what I'm thinking, that you're fast enough to be in the fast heat, and these really fast kids are making you look bad, but you're faster than the other people because you're in the fast heat. That's what I think. So, because I can see you're okay. You're not bad. But You might need to get faster, because when I watch you're running on your heels. You don't look to me to be running full speed. Look how you're just on your heels the whole time. You got to get up. The other thing, see how squatted down you are? You got to get up tall. You got to get your hips forward. You have to run fast. You need to be striking the ground on the balls of your feet. So you get speed. That's going to help you get to 3-step. Okay? And I already sent you some videos, 3-step video and a 4-step video. For next year, because I'm assuming your season's over now, start preparing to be a 3-stepper next year. And I outline a strategy in there to help you do that. Okay? Because I can go over a bunch of details, but they're all going to change for you next year because they're all pretty decent. I mean, your lead leg's pretty good, your trail leg's pretty good, your arms they're too open, but that's pretty good. Your main thing is you got to get faster. You have to learn sprint technique. So I'm going to send you a video about sprint technique so you can work on that. So you can come back next year, a year older, stronger, running faster, and you by nature will be hurdling faster then. Okay, I hope that helps. All right, so there's a lot of nice overlap today in the videos that we're looking at. I'm Josh, I sent you my link. Yeah, so hopefully, Josh, you saw that I figured it out. Basically what I did is I put on your videos the lanes, but I forgot that because I organized them a few days ago. And normally I do it like right before these live streams. So let me change this screen real quick. Where am I? I'm looking like a rookie today. Okay. So anyway, that's it. And no one has sent me any video. So that's it. So anyway, I hope you learned that because there's a lot of good overlap on these where some people weren't doing well on some of them. You can see on the other video that the other person was doing well, and you can see a not good example and a better example and vice versa. So I thought it was really good. Anyway, if you want me to do your video, go on to my website, acemethodcoaching.com, and do that. Also, if you have any questions for me, you can ask me questions there, or you can go directly to my email for questions, acemethodcoaching@gmail.com. And just check in no questions, and that's it. I know most people are either wrapping up or have already wrapped up their season. So now it's time to start thinking about what's next. So that just gives me an idea. I'm going to make a video about how to prepare for next season or something like that. So I got to put that together. Hope that helped. That's it. Have a good holiday weekend.